But your stuff got turned into
Yeah.
something.
Oh, yeah. Yes. If you Google my old YouTube name, you'll see me on a bunch of porn sites.
Huh.
Because I was just talking about like how to change a tongue ring.
Okay.
Just fucking weirdos with the fetishes.
There are tongue fetishes. I didn't know that.
And that's like erotic, just like somebody changing their tongue ring?
Cops leave, hold on to mugshots. Because I was about to go to the Grandview police station and see if they still had mine.
Were you trying to update it?
No.
You can find it on the internet. It's
no,
weird.
I've searched, and even like on the pay ones, I can't find it.
I could probably get it behind the scenes.
You know a guy?
Yeah.
I would like to.
I pulled some mugshot. You probably have a fuckload.
But I'm doing all right. I've got quite the portfolio. Yeah. I mean, I don't have that many. I'd say 10.
Mine's just the one. It's from 2012.
What are you like ashamed of the picture?
I have never seen it.
Oh, you know.
I want to
see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you go to jail or did they just take you to the station?
They just took me to the station.
Yeah, like, right.
They did take my picture, and then they're like, well, we trust you that you'll show up for court. Go home.
Good for you.
Yeah, it must be nice.
They towed my car, though.
Must be nice being a girl and having that fucking
it's
touch.
Girl privilege.
Yeah, white girl fucking
white girl privilege.
See, now you're doing the privilege card.
Yeah. Because he's insecure about his own white privilege, that he's pointing it out to everybody else's white privilege. Everybody's privileged.
I love that privilege.
You gonna just
I don't know. Should I not? God damn it.
What if they want to sponsor us? I'll down a foot long on like a commercial.
Yeah. All right.
Why do you say all right?
That's like go.
Just say like, here we are with.
We're here.
We are here. That is an accurate observation.
Okay, we have Nikki Laughlin.
Hey, Nikki Laughlin.
We caught each other at National Night Out in Grandview, which is like how would you describe National Night Out? Like
it's like a touch a truck.
Yeah, like the cops and fire
Mm-hmm.
fighters and
it's mostly for kids.
Fire trucks.
You can also promote your businesses there and stuff.
Yeah, and I haven't seen you in probably since high school.
High school, yeah.
But yeah, so we ran into each other, and Nikki shared some stuff with me, and I thought to myself, it'd be great to have her on.
Yeah, I've got so many high school questions.
Yeah, I'm sure you're ready to dig into that.
Delve into that one.
Nikki, you have done some social media previously.
Yes.
You shared with me at National Night Out that you haven't drank in 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we want to hear about how you arrived at that decision.
Okay.
But otherwise, I mean, I have an idea of how you grew up, but I'd like to hear more and what it was like for you.
It sucked. It was, I mean, I know we had the Grandview privilege, but of course living down the hill in Grandview, that's a thing.
Like the bottoms of Grandview?
It's so pathetic because like Grandview is just, it's white suburbia.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so like down the hill, like you were poor.
Now where is down the hill exactly? Like closer to High Street?
It's like down by Stevenson. Do you know where that's at? Like, so if you go down first and then you go down the hill, that's poor.
Okay,
that's the slums.
Because it's mostly apartments down there versus you go up First Avenue and it's houses.
But there's still houses down there that are probably valued well over $500,000.
Oh, yeah.
But that's down the hill. So you live down the hill. You were
down the hill.
Struggling down the hill.
Yes. So I just grew up with my dad. My mom died when I was 6. So
I did not know that.
Yes.
Can we talk about that? How did Mom die?
She took her own life.
Oh, boy.
So we can definitely delve into that because that's a tool we'll use for later.
Okay.
Later in the conversation.
Wow. Holy shit. Okay.
So, yeah. So that, I was in 1st grade, which is crazy because my daughter, now she's in 2nd grade, but last year was rough for me because I'm a mom of a 1st grader and I lost my mom in 1st grade and then things that I struggle with. And I'm like, how do you just leave your 6-year-old? But like, I get it, but at the same time, so anywho, so
were you going to Grandview when this happened? Like, were you?
Oh yeah, for her funeral, my dad had to come pick me up on the zoo field trip in 1st grade.
And then what happened? So is that he picks you up the same day or the day of the funeral?
Like, the day of the funeral.
Okay, so how, like, are you coming home one day and you're like, your dad's in there?
Yeah,
like, how does that work? How do you find that out?
Well, I I don't really remember a lot of my childhood, trauma. But
Trauma.
like I remember faintly, this is when I lived on Thomas, and I lived like in a lower level kind of underground apartment. And I remember like cops coming to the door, and that was about it. But my dad never told me how she died or anything, ever. I did not find out until I was 17 from my aunt, her sister. So she struggled with drugs a lot. She was in and out of rehab a lot. She got pregnant and married super young, lost that baby. She had me when she was 26, so a little bit older, but still struggled with drugs a lot. My aunt told me that she would take me to like get her fix and leave me in the car while she was in and out of motels and stuff.
It's wild because I get it.
And this is the 90s. I mean, so I don't remember any of that, but so I just assumed she always died from drugs, So, but then it kind of like came out later, and I'm like, well, that explains why I've always felt the way that I felt. Like, here's these genetics coming through.
Yeah.
So what's your dad telling you like this whole time? What is he feeding you a
Nothing.
lie?
Oh,
He's not telling you anything?
Would not talk about her.
Pleading the fifth?
So you were like resentful
Kind
against
of.
him for
Well,
that?
even in photo albums, he scribbled out her face in every picture.
Oh my.
I have like 3 pictures of her.
Jesus.
Wow.
It's a dark start.
So like, what's up with that? Is he like, is he traumatized by that too?
No,
or
so
is
they
like-
weren't even together. And mind you, he was 12 years older than her, so I think I was probably just a whoopsie daisy on their end. But yeah, he just never talked about her.
And
ever.
let it be known, this is like a great example of, again, we grew up in a good neighborhood, and you just don't know what people are dealing with.
No.
Like, I mean, that's a lot.
So
to
be kind.
Lose your mom at 6
Right.
that way.
And I was one of the only people that I knew growing up with like only a solo parent. I feel like everybody else, all my friends, dual parents, dual income, big house.
Yeah, the presentation certainly is that everyone's got their shit together.
But then you find out that they don't.
Yeah. So what are you telling people, like, I'm assuming people, like, at school and, like, Parents' Day and blah, 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 like, where's your mom? What do you tell them?
I just was like, she died. But also, kids don't understand, really the grip.
Yeah. Yeah, right. The grip.
So you're not living with Dad before Get a Grip. So are you living with Mom? Are they living in the same house together?
No. So Mom lived on the east side.
Okay.
And so I remember like kind of being with her for a little while, but then once it was school age, Dad moved to Grandview to get me into good schools. So then I just lived with him from then on.
So you're, I guess, behind the 8 ball early would be a way to put it.
Yeah.
How's elementary school, middle school, high school?
So elementary was fine. Middle school was rough. I always tell people like 8th grade was definitely the worst year of my life. People are mean. That's when like the bullying started.
Yep. They are vicious in middle school.
So
Middle
mean.
school's vicious.
Well, that's
It
an
was
awkward point of
boys.
life.
Yeah.
The boys were so mean to me. I have names in my head. I won't say it though because I'm on camera. But they're mean.
I'd like to know. But
Well, it's okay because after high school they asked to get with me. So
That's how it works.
Yeah.
no, not surprised.
Sweet karma coming
Yeah,
back
that's
around.
great.
So what are they calling you in high school? What's their, like, what's the go-to?
I got a lot of like because I was thin.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
I feel you on that.
12, 13, but
Yeah,
anorexic, bulimic. I could break you with my pinky. I got Beaker Toucan was one because of my nose.
Speaker. Oh, from, like, the Muppet Babies? Speaker.
I don't know.
I got a fucking weird nose, too.
I'm like, I don't even know. Just, a lot of comments about my weight, my nose, teeth, because I didn't have braces yet, so had crooked teeth. Just anything that people could make fun of you for.
Is it exclusively boys or the girls, too, jumping in on
Mostly
this?
boys. And
Okay.
luckily we grew up like kind of pre-internet.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I didn't have to really deal with that online, luckily, because it would have been bad, I'm sure.
We're the last line of defense for this world, millennials. Until now, it's just kids who grew up with TikTok and Rizzler and
Skibbity toilet.
Skibbity
Skibbity
toilet, Riz,
Skibbity toilet. I still
which is
hear that
insane.
on a daily basis.
That's my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. That's what they
Skibbity
do.
toilet.
Yep.
What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
It's some guy. He pokes his head out of the toilet.
Oh,
They're
that's
making a
it?
movie about it.
Yeah, Skibbity toilet Riz. You know what I mean?
Sure, it'll be a smashing success at the box office. All right, so middle school is pretty rough. Then you. Go
I'm
into
sorry, by the way. I just want to, on behalf of
all men.
the Grandview boys and all men, I'm sorry
Oh, thank you. I accept that.
that you had to deal with that. And if I had known, I would have stepped in and
What would
saved
you have
the day.
done, Lou? What are you gonna do? Knight in Shining
I would
Armor?
have stepped right in and been like, "That's not nice.
That's not cool, guys.
Please
So
stop."
we could have made like a skinny legion
I know.
together
I know.
and been
Oh, yeah,
like,
'cause
you
Lou
know,
is very
Yeah.
bird-like.
Bird.
It's-
yeah, sure.
it's not a bad thing.
No,
But, you know, I'm a very bleeding heart. I accept and love everybody, and I just don't understand why people are mean. So, but also growing up as a teenager without a mom, like, dad's not going to tell me what a period is.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's a
we
good
never
point.
had that talk.
Yeah,
So,
you missed out on a lot of that.
yeah.
So what's life with dad like at this point? So you don't live with him prior to going to dad, and then like you're just stuck with your dad, who I'm assuming you don't really know that well.
I mean, I've known him like my whole life pretty much, but just, yeah, I don't know. He was tough. I'm not going to say like mean per se, but I've been doing a lot of research lately, and there's something called emotional incest.
Oh shit.
So where a
sounds fucked
parent
up.
relies on their child for spousal things.
Okay.
So because I was the only woman in his
Yeah.
life, I had to hear about, well, if we don't pay the bills, the electric's going to get turned off. Like, so as soon as I got a job at 16, I'm paying the electric bill, I'm paying the gas because it's getting shut off
Jeez.
every month. I have to hear about his friend's drama and his work drama, like everything
You
emotional.
vented to you.
Yeah. And I mean, kind of get it, because who else did he have? But, like,
Yeah.
also, you have your siblings, you have your friends. As an adult, and you're going to put all this stress on a teenager daughter.
And he went through some shit too, not to take away from him being an asshole. It's a fucked up situation all the way around,
Right.
is I guess what I'm getting at.
What's
But-
dad do for a living?
Back then, he was a truck driver.
Okay.
So, but just locally.
Semi?
Locally,
No,
so he's
just,
home every night.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, flatbed. So, I don't know. It really took a toll, because how do you, especially now as a parent, I would never ask my daughters to pay a bill for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was rough. I had nobody to rely on emotionally. He wasn't there for me emotionally. I couldn't talk to him about boys or girly things or any of that.
So then I'm assuming, and God, I'm trying to think if we ever like really crossed paths, like middle school, high school. I don't think we did.
So there's an age difference, right? 2 years.
2 years.
You're
She's
2
older
years
than me.
younger.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like the school's so small, we definitely
Right.
knew who we were.
Right.
We probably passed each other in the hallways all the time. But
So like with all this stuff going on, you start to act out. And I guess when I say act out, I can look a lot of different ways, like
In a way.
partying or like
not necessarily partying. As a teenager, though, I did start like with self-injury a lot, because that was a way for me to release my emotions, you know, between not having a mom and having an angry dad and no boys liking me and getting made fun of and girl drama and all this. There's so much going on in puberty. So that was one thing I started to do just to cope. And honestly, that lasted like 15 years.
And what's that look like? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like just the cuts on the
Yeah.
leg?
I've I know people that did it. I don't know what's behind it mentally. Like what does it do for you?
It's definitely an endorphin rush.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're releasing this emotional pain and replacing it with physical pain. Because how else do you know, it's the same thing with doing drugs or getting drunk.
Right.
You're trying to
Numb.
get a fix,
Yeah.
numb something. And so it just is some sort of way to get that emotion out and released.
Now, are you doing it like, I'm assuming like where you can't see it, like up on the legs?
Oh,
or-
no, I did it arms.
Anywhere,
I didn't
okay.
care because I was kind of crying for help.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? Like,
You
I
almost
want-
wanted someone to notice.
Yeah, teachers, anybody.
Anybody
Nobody.
ever notice?
Nobody.
I feel like such a piece of shit right now, dude. Like I don't know, man.
Again, you never know what's going
Yeah,
on.
like I just weird. Like we went to school together, and I had no idea you were going through all this shit, and I just kind of feel like a piece of shit inherently. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
know.
I used to cut myself in math class. Like I did that one time. Like, 'cause you know, in wrestling they bleed, and somebody asked me to do it, so I did it in the math class. And like, I look back now, I was like, yeah, I was total cry for help. Like, I just wanted somebody to like me.
Attention.
Attention, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got the attention. I'm like, ooh.
Dude, I don't like this either.
Yeah, it's weird too. Now
Yeah.
everybody's looking at me. Now I'm just the weird kid that cuts himself in
Yeah.
class.
Oh, that does come with the territory too, because it's like all I wanted to do was fit in. Because I mean, I don't know if you remember, I was like blonde in high
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
Wow,
I didn't
okay.
have the piercings, the tattoos. I was not this in high school. I was blonde. I tried to wear Hollister and stuff.
Oh yeah, Hollister, Abercrombie.
I loved Hollister. But there was still, no matter how much you tried to present yourself in a certain way, there's still this inner turmoil going on.
Middle school does suck, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you bring up Hollister, I remember, like, everyone had Abercrombie, and I was like, oh, I gotta do this. I have to do this. And you believe that, like, your life depends on it,
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, it's still a thing now.
like, to fit in.
Oh, second grade. My oldest daughter's in second grade, and she's still wearing unicorns and rainbows and stuff. Light up Skechers, right? She's 7 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, there are 2 kids in her class with braces already, because you can't have crooked teeth. And you're wearing Nike, Adidas. You have the Stanleys.
The cups.
The
What
kids?
do they
Yes.
need what do they need Stanleys for? Is that just water?
Yeah.
Yeah, those Stanley fucking...
Yeah, I know,
that everyone's...
yeah.
all of chicks are obsessed with. Do you have one?
I do not.
No.
Wow. I thought for sure you were going to have one.
Nope.
Um,
So that's crazy that it starts even younger now.
and it fucks with your head. What were your friendships like in high school? What did high school look like?
High school was, still kind of the same thing. I struggled a lot. I had like a good solid few friends. I didn't do any sports. I did a lot of like art clubs and painting, photography, yearbook, that kind of stuff. That was my vibe.
Were we in yearbook together? I did yearbook.
You would have been a freshman when I did
would've
yearbook.
missed you. Yeah, I would have missed
So.
you then. Damn.
I loved it though.
I did yearbook too.
I like looking at the yearbook now that I did, and I'm like, I did that.
And what are you doing? Just setting up like how the yearbook's gonna
Yeah,
be
you like
at the end of the year?
build the yearbook. I remember I would put pictures. Like there was one picture of me in chemistry where I was like blitzed. I'd eat a bunch of edibles.
Oh boy.
And I was wearing goggles, so I thought it'd be funny, like take a picture and put it in the yearbook.
Throw it in
of
the
me
yearbook.
high. Like that's the shit I did. Or like my senior picture, we went to Tarpey Woods and I just like smoked a bunch of weed and Bruno took my senior picture. Like I was like, oh, this is gonna be so cool. I'll get fucking fucked up.
And that picture's still in the yearbook.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Something to be proud of, boys.
Yep.
I should have brought my yearbooks.
I
We
know.
could have looked.
I know.
Yeah, I tried to put most of like my kind of friend group or like the outcasts in the yearbooks. I'm like, when this never happens, like
Yeah.
let's take a change
That's-
and like
yeah.
make the lesser known people be known. So that's
So do you get asked to like prom and homecoming and all
Yeah,
that garbage?
yeah,
fun.
walk
No,
up-
I got
yeah.
broken up with a week before senior prom.
Oh, what a D.
Do you remember Wes Kinsler?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I thought I remembered.
That was your guy?
We dated for a year,
Wow.
In high school, that's like a lifetime.
I know.
Yeah.
and then he broke up with me, and a couple
He
weeks
was
later,
a down the hiller too.
He was Woodhill,
Yeah.
908 Woodhill. I
Yep.
still remember it.
Woodhill was like La Trappe, like
Yeah.
in Grandview. Down by Buck Park.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Jones.
Oh yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Gone too
R.I.P.
Gone too soon, Tyler.
So yeah, whatever.
So high school, it was just sucked.
Yeah, but it was fine. Like, I had my car, I had a job. I started working at 16. I graduated, went to college, but I would say I think honestly 16 or 17 is the first time I tried to take my life.
Oh man.
So
Okay.
just
Holy fuck. All right. Okay. Well, okay. Let's.
So you're a 16-year-old
God.
kid. Yeah. What's that looking like? Like, why is life so terrible that like that's the way out?
It's hard to say because a lot of times, even still to this day, people always say, "What do you have to be sad about? You have the life, you have the house, you have the car, you have whatever." And I'm like, if that were true, then you wouldn't have celebrities killing themselves every day. They have
Yeah.
more than I could ever want. Stuff doesn't make you happy.
We had a guy on that worked out in Hollywood for a while, and he was saying the same thing.
Yeah, same exact
that,
thing.
like, so many of those celebrities and high-profile people are like miserable,
Yeah,
even though they have everything.
yeah. So, obviously in high school, my life was different 'cause I didn't have the stuff. So that's what made it worse. But that's still, like, your brain, you can't shut it off when you're in that dark space. So even if I had all this stuff, it was still just, like, a
wouldn't have
miserable
mattered.
time. Yeah. I'm like, well, I don't see this getting any better. So I was going to peace on out of
So
here.
what
Yeah, what's
was
your
the
plan?
move?
The like actually how I tried.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to
So
share it, but
the first time, again, I was like, yeah,
so
probably
there's
16.
multiple times.
Mhm.
Jesus.
The first time I took a hoodie and I tied it around my neck and I tied it to the shower like curtain rod.
Mm-hmm.
It came
The rod
crashing
broke.
down.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Mind you, I was like 95 pounds, so now on top of everything, I'm like, God, I'm such a fat
You're
ass
just-
on top of this.
You're sitting there like, oh my god, I just failed at this too.
Yep.
Then I had my dad like knocking on the door, like, Nick, what's going on in there? Quiet it down. So I'm just like sobbing on the bathroom floor. I can't even kill myself, right?
Yep.
So, so
Did you ever have any, is that like the only attempt?
no.
No, there's
So
multiple.
Multiple. Okay.
yeah.
Multiple
So
attempts.
if we fast forward, like I think 19 or 20.
You go to college.
Yeah,
Where'd you go?
Columbus State.
Okay.
Ah, me too. Me
yeah.
too.
Hey, see?
Yeah.
Go
We did
Cougars,
good.
right?
See,
There
we
we
got,
go.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Columbus State just because one, it's what I could afford. And two, I was like, well, the game plan, let's get the prereqs out of the way and then I can
Transfer wherever.
transfer. So, but yeah, I think I was also in a super abusive relationship for 4 years between the ages of 18 and 21-ish, 22. So he controlled everything I did. Like I was not allowed to go tanning anymore. I couldn't color my hair. I had to wear his clothes to college,
Oh my.
like oversized hoodies,
Yeah.
loose baggy
To like
jeans.
cover up your body.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I had to delete even my male cousins on social media and out of my phone. I could not talk to any males at all.
So this guy open up in like 4 years. Does he open up with this? Like your first year? Is he
Oh,
a
no.
controlling asshole? Or
No.
It was like a slow
just a
burn.
slow roll into it.
Yeah. So then, like, the physical abuse started with that. And then, I don't know, it just kind of snowballed. So I'm like, once again, how am I going to escape this?
Shitty
I
situation.
can't do anything. So there's attempt number 2. This time, tried pills.
Okay.
What pills?
Yeah. What'd you take?
Just all I had at home was Advil. So it was just like
Just
a bunch of
a
bunch
bottle
of
of
Advil,
Advil.
yeah.
Yeah.
And water. I didn't even like chase it down with alcohol or anything. Not trying to give people
Yeah.
ideas.
Don't do that, please.
It's
but
not gonna work.
yeah, well, it didn't. Here I am.
Yeah.
Here you are. Yeah.
You might fuck up your liver though.
Yeah.
And like, isn't that like that would be the most terrifying way to go? Is like you do a bunch of pills, now you're just waiting
Yeah, I
to
know,
die.
I know.
And, like anything that happens, like okay, is it starting now? Like I couldn't.
At least with like overdoses, you just
You're in,
just
you're out.
gone.
Yeah.
yeah, you don't think about it.
Man.
So,
So what happened? Did you take how many Advil you think you took?
I don't even. Probably not that many because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of like still a scary
Yeah, right.
situation. But I mean, maybe like 20.
Okay.
You know,
Jesus
not
Christ.
like a ton. But just I'm like, well, this should do it. Well, it didn't. I just like puked all night.
Mm.
And I told him about it, and he was like, I wish it would have worked.
Oh my.
So
What the fuck?
What? Yeah.
he
what-
was great. I have a lot of great men in my life.
So what's the? How does that end? Like, I'm gonna say, so you're being
Yeah, how'd you get out of
controlled.
that
How do you
shit?
get free of that?
Well, so funny enough, that was my first run-in with the Grandview cops because
Nice. We've all had those.
yes, which
great.
they were actually very helpful that time. So there was a time we were texting, me and this guy, and I was telling him like, you're hurting me, blah blah blah. Of course, he denies it in text. Like he's smart enough to know, not
no
to admit
evidence
it.
trail.
Right.
I sent him a picture, like, look at these bruises on my ribs. Oh, how'd you get those? You're so clumsy. And I said, you know what? I'm like done with this. I'm out of here.
You were
Like,
living with this guy?
No, I'm
Okay,
still living at
okay.
home.
With your dad.
Yeah.
Which made
And his
it
dad ever
easier.
notice like,
No.
why do you have black eyes so much?
No.
No. Okay.
So, this guy called the cops on me saying, well, she's threatening to hurt herself, so you need to go take care of her.
Oh boy.
So they came and they were nice and they were like, we need to take you somewhere because we think that you're a threat to yourself. They saw cuts on my arms.
Sure.
So they're like, we can see, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of told them, like, I don't want to. Like, it's a Saturday night. I just want to chill at home. But they did. They took me to Net Care,
Been
which
there.
was terrible.
Yeah, that cares.
Absolutely just terrible.
Do you get to eat any of the sandwiches though? The peanut butter.
No, I
jellies?
only had SpaghettiOs.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they had spaghetti.
It was
yeah.
canned
I never did
SpaghettiOs.
Netcare.
Yeah. You been-
What's
yeah.
what's Netcare like?
You sit in a room.
What is Netcare?
It's like a crisis. Like if you're planning on
Intervention.
hurting yourself,
Mhm.
or I don't know if anybody else can be taken. Like if the cops can like 5150 of there. Yeah, it's just like if I want to hurt myself, I go to neck care and they keep me till
They lock you
whatever.
up, like,
Which is
72
weird
hours.
because like I would tell them so many times like if I didn't have a place to go like, hey, I'm gonna kill myself, and then like the next morning I'd be like, all right guys, I'm good, and they would just give me my shit and let me go.
At neck hair?
Yeah.
So you did basically for somewhere to sleep
Oh yeah.
in that case.
For me, I was on the 72-hour hold. I think
Okay.
since the cops brought me in, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
They like, what are they, what's it like?
I felt sane there. I had some guy doing push-ups outside of my room,
Yep.
flexing, trying to impress me.
Okay.
I had some lady come
Did
over.
he impress you?
No,
Yeah, were you
Oh, okay.
impressed?
I was not impressed. I'm just trying to sit in my bed and like.
Just-
Oh, and they took my purse, took my phone,
Your
took
belt.
everything,
Yep.
which sucks not having your cell phone. Then I had some lady come over and she's like, I bless you from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet, blah, 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 and joined a prayer circle around me. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. What? And none of the workers are like doing anything.
No, they're just sitting behind the desk,
Where's- yeah.
like watching all the
Right,
madness
right.
happen. Yeah, just random people screaming and banging on the door.
You see cops,
and
coming in
out.
and out with people. And there's the bed across from my room had like the straps,
Yeah, oh,
Luckily,
yeah.
it was vacant, but. So then the next day came and they're like, oh, well, the doctor's not in. You have to wait to speak with the doctor before we can let you leave. And I'm like, well, he's not here. That's not fair. So then I wait another day and then I talked to the doctor and then it was like that evening they
That you're
finally
out.
let me leave.
That's a rough time because there's literally just a bed in the room and that's it. So you're kind of your TV
Nothing.
and entertainment is kind of watching
Watching the crazies.
the insanity happen around you.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
they
it was
let you
enough.
go.
Yeah, they let me go. I had to call actually Beth. Came and picked me up because I lied to my dad. I was like, yeah, I've been spending the night with Beth because I didn't want him to know.
Jesus.
So, and then
Do you go back to the guy?
I went back to the guy, and he was so smart about it, though. He was trying to build up this, like, repertoire that I'm the crazy one. Look, she's been hospitalized. The cops took her in, blah, blah, blah. So if I ever came and tried to, like, say something
And he's
about
gonna
him,
Like, she's
pull out-
crazy.
Yeah.
Pull out into evidence. Yeah, docket
she's a
3.5.
psycho, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, damn, he's kind of good, though, like, about that. So I don't know. It was probably, like, a year later. Finally, he moved to Pickerington. And, well, he cheated on me the entire time, too. But as soon as he moved, he was with another girl or two or three.
So were
I
you
don't know.
guys officially broken up when he moved?
No, because he kept leading me back in, saying, like, oh, no, you're still the one for me. But then I see
So
on...
this dude like a sociopath?
Yes.
That
Yeah, it
situation?
sounds like it.
Yes. MySpace, I can see, like, he's still talking to other girls, though.
MySpace.
So, he was just playing everybody, basically. And then I don't know what the final thing was, but we cut off all communication, and that was that.
And you're free.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're like emotionally fucked after this.
Traumatized, yeah.
Just tore up.
All right. Does it get better for you?
Well, so then I dated another guy for 2 years.
Where do you find these fucking guys?
Columbus.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sure.
That checks out.
So, okay, he was not physical, this next boyfriend, but the emotion of the controlling was back again. Like, mind you, at this time, I'm 22 years old. I want to go downtown with my girlfriends, have some drinks,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. And you can't wear that out, and blah, blah, blah. And there was one time I was out. I told him I was going out. He showed up to my house. I was still living with my dad at the time. And he's like, well, your dad's going to love to hear about this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, whatever, I'm leaving. So I leave. I didn't tell him where I was going. He showed up. I'm dancing on stage, which is just a girls only area, because I'm like, I don't want to be poked and prodded by guys down on the dance floor. Let me be
So
with
you're
my
being a
girl.
little wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I look down and he's like staring at
Oh,
me
boy.
with these angry eyes. So I get down and I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I came to every club on Park Street trying to find you.
Man.
Jesus. You know how to pick them.
Dedication, though. Give him that.
So basically, that was that for 2 years. And like he would make promises like, oh, well, June 13th, you might get a special, diamond if you're good. Like he would, because he knew all I wanted to do was like get married and have kids. I just wanted to love and be loved, and he knew how to play on that
He's just dangling the carrot.
dangle. And then the time would come, and then all of a sudden it'd be a fight. I did something wrong. The very last night, though, I was out at Cantina. It was Taco Tuesday, dollar margaritas with my girlfriend. He shows up, of course, and he's like, oh, you're banging all these guys. Mind you, we're the only 2 girls at the bar, and there's like a few people at tables behind us. And he's accusing me of like banging.
And you
Banging them all.
were never that girl.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Okay, but at this point, you
no.
were faithful.
Oh,
you
yeah, absolutely.
like
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally having tacos and margaritas with a girlfriend, and he
you
showed
just
up.
managed to pick psycho fucking boyfriends.
Yeah. So I get Steele, who's the big bodyguard, and I'm like, Steele, get
His
him out
name's
of here.
Steele.
Steele. Yeah.
I wouldn't fuck with him.
Is Steele African American?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Steele was amazing. You know, what's his name? Big from Robin Big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That was Steele, except meaner.
He
Like,
looks
I mean,
him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, Steele, get him out of here. So he takes him out. Well, he went to my dad's house and said, oh, Nikki's at the bar. She's doing drugs. She's having sex with a bunch of guys. Blah, blah, blah. I'm taking my stuff back. Can I go in her room? My dad let him go in. He ransacked my room, took back everything he ever gave me, down to lingerie and heels and jewelry, stuffed animals,
He cleaned house.
blanket, like my Michigan, I was a Michigan fan at the time. My Michigan blanket and like fuzzy dice, like all these gifts. And then to top it off, he hid my baby blanket from me because he knew that I would be
Sentimental value.
Fucking
trying
child,
to
yeah.
like contact him, like, where's Blanky? He knew. And the fact that my dad just let him do that and then believed him,
Yeah.
like he believed, because I was not doing drugs. I wasn't. I was drinking, but I wasn't doing anything I wasn't supposed to do. So here's yet another man who's trying to get everybody against me to make me look like the bad person.
And then, are you drinking a lot at this point? Or what's the drinking look like?
Yeah, I
So
would
drinking
say,
becomes a problem later,
yeah,
right? Okay.
I would say after that, that's when I'm like, finally, I'm free. I'm gonna go
I'm
crazy.
gonna live my best
Okay.
life.
So it was Taco Tuesdays, Cantina Wednesdays, Saloon Thursdays,
Damn.
Long Street Fridays, and Social Saturdays.
That's like
And then Sunday Fun Days.
Religiously.
6 days of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this, what, are you working?
Yeah, I was working.
What were you doing? Oh, photography?
No, I worked at, on the corner of Grandview and First, was a little florist shop, like flowers.
Okay.
Yep. So but it was part-time because I was also going to school. So I was doing college and school and work and going out and showing up to class hungover and all that stuff. But, so I started like the clubbing a lot and drinking
What
a
did
lot.
that do for you? The booze and the clubbing?
It helped with anxiety a lot because like I could finally be this person, like the person I wanted to be in middle school and high school. I'm like outgoing and people are actually approaching me and guys are wanting me. Like
And you found that at, how old were
I
you?
was like 22.
So you found that at 22.
Mm-hmm. So
You're
here,
like, this seems to be working.
right. And the more you drink, the more people seem to like you, and the more personality, like you can just let
Yeah,
loose.
and the less you care about like
Yeah,
what people
what other
think
people
about you.
think.
You're
Right.
hot shit when you're drunk and
But girls want to be your friend, and guys want to be with you, and just things that I'd never experienced before. And I get to wear my cute dresses and heels and look good and feel good. And I didn't have a guy holding me back for once, like since high school, So went a little crazy.
okay. And then let's get into the
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, and then of course as a girl you get free shots.
Oh yeah, okay.
all the
that's why I
time,
need
all
So
night
what's crazy look like for
Yeah.
for Nikki?
There's definitely a lot of like dancing on the bar and stuff like that, which is normal for.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know, just it's hard to remember. One, I was drunk, and two, it feels like a lifetime ago, but just, had my little mini skirts on and stiletto heels that I definitely can't walk in today. Like there's no way.
Going nuts.
Going nuts.
Okay.
Staying out till 4 a.m.
When does the cycle break?
The cycle took...
Because like I feel like you've taken a, well, so like from what I've seen of you today, it's like there's Nikki today. You've taken me through, like, it feels like 3 different lifetimes.
I've lived a bunch of
You
lifetimes.
know what I mean? So
Well, so now if we're in 2012, it's July of 2012, and I'm driving home from the bar on Northwest Boulevard, and I'm texting, and mind you, this was a light night. I'm like, oh, I can't drink because I have like my final tomorrow or something for
take
college.
it easy.
Took it easy. And I'm texting, and I like almost hit that curve, in the middle. It's the boulevard curve.
Yep.
I kind of like swerve. Grandview cop coming the opposite way.
Ooh.
I'm like, fuck. So I turn down the little side street. It wasn't Eastview. I forget which one it was, though. And I just park, and I turn off my car. And
Smart.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, maybe they didn't see anything. Zoop, here they come.
Did you do the duck under, like, hide under the...
No, because I was like, I had a light night of drinking. Like, even if they come over, I'll be fine. Like, it's fine. They pull up behind me. Hard to miss the bright yellow car.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like, they,
right,
and they
of
knew who
course.
I was. Like, we
Yep.
waved to each other driving around Grandview. They pull up. I'm in, like, this tiny shirt and shorts and heels, so they knew I was out. Like, how many drinks did you have? And I always knew you say two. The first and the last,
That's
right?
the go-to.
That's what you say.
Yeah.
Mind you, I had Corona fuzzy dice hanging from my rearview mirror.
I
so
can
they're probably
picture
like,
it. I can picture
so they're
it.
like, this girl's an alcoholic. Anyways, they take me out, and I do all the field sobriety tests and failed miserably. And so they tow my car, and they take me to the station, and they do all the booking and stuff. But then they're like, okay, just go home, and here's your court date.
And how do you
blah,
get
blah.
home? You have to call
My
a ride?
friend, who I
Okay.
was with,
Shit, either way you could walk.
the police took her home, and then she came back in the car and
got
picked me
you.
up and took me
Jesus,
home.
dude.
So the next day I wake up and my dad's like, where's your car? And I'm like, it got towed. And he's like, why would you park somewhere you weren't supposed to park? And I was like, that's not why it got towed.
Oh, you told him.
I had to. He was
Oh.
so mad. He just left the house. Like, he was so mad. So I called my aunt. She came, took me to the whatever tow truck place and got my car out. And then it started a whole bunch of like the court dates. I had a really good lawyer though, and we were like trying to fight, so it wasn't actually a DUI because the car wasn't running.
Yeah, you had a chance.
So we were like, oh, maybe. And it was just, I mean, it lasted like over a year of
For a DUI? Jesus.
because we kept, well, the judge like kept postponing it or whatever.
Yeah.
I had to do community service and then do like this hotel
The
program.
weekend
Yeah.
program.
Which
Did
was
they
actually
show you,
really
did they show you the video or like the pictures of like the gross stuff?
I don't remember.
I never
just-
did it. You did it?
No, but I've I've seen and talked to people that are like, yeah, they show
Yeah.
you the car
Oh,
accidents.
yeah, you
and,
probably see that shit all the time.
It was more like
People
just a
are
bunch of
married.
group, like we'd all just sit in a group and like kind of talk about things.
How you don't want to fucking be there and how stupid
Yeah.
this is.
Well, and then at night we had free time and we'd be in like the hot tub in the pool in the hotel. And, like nobody learned their lesson.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
Oh, no.
at the end, people were stealing the hotel pillows and they checked our bags before we left. And so all those people failed like their weekend.
Oh, so they have to do it
to
again.
redo it.
Oh.
For stealing pillows?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know they searched your bags on the way out, but that's like kind of genius.
What the-
And on your way in because
don't
people
wanna
bring
have booze in
alcohol
there, yeah.
there. So yeah, don't steal hotel pillows.
No, they put us up at a. They made a homeless shelter out of a hotel one time on Bryce Road,
Really?
and I was like, "This is a terrible idea." And sure enough, like that next day, they're like,
They turned
they
a hotel
ransacked-
into a homeless shelter?
"Yeah, like a Super 8." They turned it into like 2-person homeless shelter overflow, and yeah,
That's
they
a
were
dope
just
homeless
stealing
shelter.
everything.
Yeah.
It was good while it lasted.
Fuck yeah,
It
I
wasn't
bet.
long, but yeah, they took everything that wasn't bolted down. Everything. So what ended up happening? Like, did you get out of it?
So we got it reduced to physical control.
No
So
DUI.
I was
No DUI.
in the car, in the presence of the car while it wasn't running. No DUI, so no points off my license.
Beautiful.
I had, I got my like license reinstated because I had privileges for work and like grocery
Yeah.
shopping and whatever. But other than that, it was back to normal then. And I did not drink, so that was July. I didn't drink again until December. And then it kind of started all over again. So I'm like,
So was it hard to quit?
no, because I'm like, I'm not risking this again.
Okay.
And that was like before Uber and Lyft. So I was actually like taking taxis around with my friends and stuff like that. Like
So it's
taxis.
probably fair to say, do you think you're alcoholic then? Or do you
I
think
definitely-
you're just like a heavy drinker, like a problem, what do they call it? Problem drinker?
Yeah.
Is that the
I think that sounds right.
Yeah.
But at 22, that's normal.
Yeah,
Is that not what
that's
everybody
normal.
does?
Yeah,
So
it's
you think.
normal, right?
Yeah, in your
But I
head.
think, like, looking back now, you're like, you should not be drinking so much that you're blacking out or getting pulled over by the cops. Oh, by the way, my light night of drinking, I blew a .168.
Which is double. the
Yeah,
legal
double the
limit.
limit. Okay.
So that was me on a light.
That's a light night.
Take
Yes.
it easy.
Damn.
So I'm curious to know on the nights that I was like
Heavy.
blacked out, passed out in my bedroom floor, what I was
Yeah,
drinking
what you
actually.
were blown then?
Well, so what we did in high school, we actually bought a breathalyzer. Milner had a fucking breathalyzer, so we could like see. We're like, oh, what the fuck are we
Who'd
at?
get the
Like,
drunkest?
swear to God, Like he would pull it out and breathalyze us. Yeah, like so it's like, and then you could be like, oh, like I'm more fucked
Like,
up than
I'm
you. Like
way
catch up,
more-
bitch.
Yeah.
Like no, I just remember it's fucking Milner. It's a very Milner thing to do.
100%.
Pull out a breathalyzer and
Scientific guy. Like,
yeah,
Who's
more
drunker?
fucked up?
Yeah.
And if you weren't, you'd fucking catch up.
Yeah, you
So
catch
you're a
up.
fucking
Or pass
bitch.
out. One of the
Yeah.
two. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So we're good. So anyways, well, I graduated.
So you quit.
I
drinking.
quit drinking, graduated college, well, Columbus State at the time. But then I started drinking again because I'm like, well, nothing bad's happened. And again, now at this point, I'm only 23, 24. Like, that's still young.
And you're
for
still
drinking.
fulfilling your obligations,
Yeah.
college,
Right.
blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
work.
So somewhere in there, I got so drunk one night and was depressed about who knows. Well, they say, right, alcohol is a depressant
Yeah.
and it brings to light everything. I don't know. But here we go, another bottle of pills, this time followed by alcohol.
Oh, man.
So,
Round 3.
yeah.
What pills are we doing this time?
I don't even remember. I don't
Okay.
even, I mean, whatever I had, like,
In the cabinet.
in the medicine cabinet, it was a mix. I'm like, I'm not messing this up again.
I'm doing it right
Well,
this time.
surprise, I messed it up
She's
again.
back.
Third time's not a charm.
So then the question really becomes, I'm going to try not to be insensitive in asking this, but sounds like you didn't really want to, did you really want to go, or were you just, was this an attention grab type situation? Because I certainly have been in situations when I was down bad, like my ex-girlfriend would be like, I'm going to kill myself, or I'm going to, and
Yeah.
like some half-ass, like, do you think you really,
But here's the thing: is I'm not telling anybody. Like,
you're just
Oh.
doing
You're
it?
yeah,
just doing
I'm
it,
not
yeah.
the type of
So
person
you
that posts
weren't-
like a
you weren't,
hospital
like,
bracelet.
telling- Okay.
No, nobody really knew. I just was hoping that I wouldn't wake up and my dad would come in and find me, and then everybody
yeah.
would be like, "Oh, maybe we should have been nicer," or
Yeah.
maybe she was going through things we didn't think about. Maybe
It's
we, you know.
Crazy how your brain works like
Mm-hmm.
that. Even though if you're gone, you don't get to see people
Maybe,
feeling
hopefully.
bad.
I don't know. Do we
I mean,
know?
I guess we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
But
yeah.
like,
But I always think, yeah, oh, I'm gonna haunt these people and
Yeah.
float around and be like, ha ha.
or what would they say at my funeral, or
Right.
how would that look?
how many
Yeah.
people would show up?
Yeah.
Like
Do
these
they
would be
actually
things
give
I
a
would fall
fuck?
asleep to, like fantasizing about.
Man,
Like,
that's
I mean,
deep.
I get it to an extent. I mean, I'm not gonna say I've lived in that place in my head often, but I certainly have been there
Mm-hmm.
like plenty of times.
Yeah. So then, like, you fail again.
hmm
And now, what are we doing with life?
so
Where's the upswing start?
Yeah.
We're getting there. We're getting there. So I go back to college. I'm going to Ohio Christian University to finish up my bachelor's degree, and in psychology,
Okay.
mind you, because I'm like, I know all this stuff. I know it. I'm good
Yeah,
at it.
yeah,
So
sure.
I want to help other people, and the fact that I've lived it. You
Yeah.
know. Like,
Yeah.
And that's kind of also around the time I started YouTube. And even though I kind of started kind of about like piercings and makeup and hair and stuff, I would also lead in with a little bit of mental health, because there's so many. I know this sounds weird, but at the time I'm like platinum blonde and Hollister, right? And people were like, that's weird. You don't think of blondes as having like all these piercings.
Yeah.
Like I had all these ear piercings, I had my tongue pierced, other things pierced. I'm like, oh, and I'm like, again, don't judge a book by its cover because you don't know what people are going through. And a lot of people resonated with that, so that's when I kind of shifted my YouTube channel to mental health. And like I told Lewis, I'm like, I really worked it up. So at the time that I stopped, I had 60,000 subscribers and 20 million video views.
Wow. And then, like, what's the like? It starts out slow. I'm assuming. How do?
It did
Because
start
mental
out-
health isn't the most like exciting per se category
No.
It seems tough.
to get into.
Well, so I gained a lot with like the piercings and the
Yeah,
beauty,
yeah.
because that was the trend at the time, was like the YouTube beauty gurus
Sure,
or
sure.
whatever. But I think a lot of people said, you seem relatable. Like all these other girls on YouTube they have the perfect life and everything's great, and you're not afraid to like say the sucky parts.
Yeah.
Right.
The
And
shit
so
we're
people,
all thinking.
right. So people kind of gravitated towards that. And then I'd get messages just constantly all around the world. Like most of my subscribers are either Canadian, Australian, or New Zealand, which is crazy.
Really?
Yeah, it is crazy. I still talk to a lot of them on Instagram too. They sent me, like, when I was pregnant with my first baby, they sent me a bunch of like maternity gifts and stuff.
Wow.
I have postcards from Australia. I mean, it was crazy. I had a P.O. box at one point at the Columbus Post
Wow.
Office. I would go and pick up packages
Good
like
stuff.
weekly. it was like, it felt cool.
I was
you
gonna
know?
say, did YouTube finally like fill that like
Because
emptiness?
I finally got to help people.
Yeah.
Like I finally was able to kind of give back, and just the messages I got of like, you are helping me realize that it does get better and like it's worth holding on for because you're still here to tell the story. And that was like my aha moment of I need to be here to help other people. Like that's obviously my purpose, and that's why nothing worked in the past, and that's why I survived crappy relationships and all that.
Let's say that's the quickest way to get out of your own head is to like do
Help
something
somebody.
unselfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Help somebody else.
But it's heavy. I mean, you get messages from people who are like, my husband's abusive
Yeah.
and my dad's sexually abusing me. What do I do? And they come to you for these kind of answers, and I'm like, I can't.
Right.
Here's
you
the
can't
best
wave
I
a
can.
magic wand and
yeah,
fix it. Yeah.
as much as I wish I could.
That's
so
what I always say too.
it does get really heavy when you're dealing with that kind of stuff because you want to fix everything for everybody, but you can't.
So with the good also comes the bad,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of like a lot of haters like we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
How like when's that start becoming a thing? Like the more successful you get, or has that always kind of been like?
I mean, it sounds like you really could have like done social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for a living. So
Yeah. I mean,
what-
I was making money off it doing
Like-
YouTube.
But
which
what?
is
And
nice.
let's talk about that. Like what can be made? Like what's Are you making enough to like where you don't have to do anything else, or is it just like, oh, this is cool? Like a
I
little bonus?
wasn't. I would say I was making anywhere between like $300 to $800 a month.
Okay, which is great
Passive
for extra.
income.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a bonus $300 to $800 a month.
Yeah,
Great.
and for not like doing it full time. If I sat down and did it full
Right.
time, the more content you put out,
Mm.
blah blah blah. But then YouTube started dinging me for talking about mental health,
What's up with
Oh,
that?
yeah, you
and you
mentioned
couldn't.
that.
Yeah, you can't monetize if you like use the word suicide. And it's
Oh.
same with like TikTok now. You have to like
Yeah.
Wow.
watch
we-
what.
we
Yeah,
run into that
exactly.
all the
So
time.
dumb.
But
Yeah.
yet, there's like girls reviewing sex toys on
Yeah, yeah,
YouTube, and I'm like, but that's what it's all about money. They want to make their profit, and they think that's what's going to get the views is the sexual and
Yep.
the that kind of stuff, and not my stuff, which is fine. I would do it for $0 if I'm
But
helping
your
people.
stuff got turned into
Yeah. Oh yeah.
something.
Yes. If you Google my old YouTube name, you'll see me on a bunch of porn sites
Huh.
because I was just talking about like how to change a tongue ring.
Okay.
Fucking weirdos
There-
with the fetishes.
There are tongue fetishes. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I
And
didn't know
that's like erotic, just like somebody changing their tongue ring.
that just the tongue.
I
dudes are weird.
will openly admit, and I will look in the camera when I say this, I did look up the videos.
But it's not like you doing anything.
I did watch the tongue videos
Yeah.
on the porn sites.
Okay.
It did feel like they did not belong
I feel like
on
they were.
those websites.
I feel like, and they edit them too, like on repeat. So it's just like
Oh,
you see
just
me like
you,
sticking
like-
out my
it's her
tongue.
like
and then they're
switching
just
her
like-
tongue ring out.
And that's it. They at least have some like cheesy porn music in the
No.
background. That seems kind of.
It's just like her at her desk, like
People would request like, "Will you talk in the camera and pretend I'm a gummy bear and you're gonna swallow me whole?"
Oh.
I'm not trying to
man.
put anybody down. Like to each their own. I did not do that. I did not partake.
That's just an odd. So okay. So.
pretend
um,
I'm a gummy bear and swallow me whole.
But see that clip, somebody's gonna put that on a porn site because
then
you
that
talk
would've
sexy into the
been-
mic.
Yeah.
And they're gonna Photoshop this mic into like a
A
dick.
penis.
Yeah.
And then like,
Swallow
so
me
what?
whole.
Then what? Like, so you're on porn sites and without your permission, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
And then what? Like, you ever get any feedback from that? Like, hey, I saw you on Pornhub.
I had one time a guy, he was filming a video, like so he's watching a video of mine on his iPad, and he's
God.
filming his phone, and then all of a sudden I see splat on,
Oh my.
On the iPad?
on the
Why
iPad.
he's
So he's
dude? I will never understand.
and he like messaged me that on, I don't remember if it was Instagram or YouTube
Like, yo,
at the
check,
time.
check this
Hey,
shit
that's-
out.
Give me a review.
Obviously he liked it. I mean,
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, clearly there's proof right there, evidence.
but so that was enough that once I had my first daughter, that I'm like, I gotta kind
Good
of step
for you,
back
by
because
the way. Good for you.
I can't do this, and I can't put her on the. Everybody's begging me to like let me see her,
Yeah,
let me see
yeah.
her. I'm like, I don't know what these weirdo. There's fetishes for
There-
everything. If I make a video about me like how to change a diaper, somebody's gonna do
Yeah.
Somebody
something
will be
weird
into
with
Yeah.
that.
that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're
So
right.
that's when I'm like, I gotta dip. And part of me wishes I would have like left the channel up, so
Yeah.
I could have like
Just
kept making
Kept
money.
making money
and
off it,
Right.
I
yeah.
didn't but I'm like, I don't need people to know my past life. Like, here's a new chapter.
Yeah.
Is with my daughter and my, at the time, fiance. Like, we would get married later. And so, yeah, I was done with that. But I still have my Instagram, and I get messages from my old YouTube subscribers all the time. We chat. I've met up with a bunch of them.
Really?
2 of them came to my wedding.
Wow. You're married.
I'm married.
Okay.
2018. So we just celebrated our 6-year wedding anniversary.
Congrats.
Marriage is tough. Like, good for you.
Happy for you guys.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, but back to it, after I had my daughter, like, we would still go on date nights. We lived in Upper Arlington at the time, so we would just, like, go around town drinking and come back and whatever. It's fine, right? Except it wasn't, because how are you supposed to take care of your kid if you're both drunk?
Yeah.
Right? So it was September of 2018 when my husband decided he was going to stop drinking. Partly because he's like, well, you went 8 months without drinking when you were pregnant, so I'll let you have this time now. Like, I'll stop drinking
Okay.
to better myself and
So nice and
be the responsible
responsible
person.
Wow.
And
You got one.
just because also, kind of addiction and stuff runs in both of our families, so he made that choice. A few months later, in December of 2018, I decided. One, because I was still, like, drinking to get drunk. It's not just a glass of wine. It was a bottle of wine. Because 1 glass, you're feeling okay. 2 glass, you're feeling
Way better.
Right.
fun.
Yeah.
3, you're feeling frisky. And then all of a sudden, the bottle's gone, sitting at home. Like, it's normalized to just drink at home while you have a kid. What happens if she gets hurt? Who's driving her to the hospital? You can't.
Right.
Right? So, and then I was 30, so I had the worst hangover of my life because was old, and I said, I don't want to do this again.
Not old.
30's
not old.
Well, I felt
older
like it.
than, you don't recover.
I mean,
Because I used to be-
too.
21.
I mean, yeah, at 21, I could drink double that and be fine, get up and work the next day.
Yeah.
Now I'm 30, and I had a few shots, and
You need a week to recover.
I could not take care of my daughter for 3 days because I was so hungover. And that was when I said, no more.
God, that's
And it actually, timing-wise, worked out because a month later I got pregnant again.
Oh.
So I got a solid 8.5 months where
Okay.
I couldn't
And
drink.
you have 2 kids, right? Mm-hmm. 2 kids, can't tell.
No.
Cannot tell.
And then the husband, like, so he's a normal guy, not abusive, not like,
No.
he's like a real man.
everything that I could have ever wanted.
He's a dream man.
What'd you do differently? How'd you find this guy?
He's not from Columbus.
Oh.
He's from Dayton.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't shoot. Okay. There's some
decent-
good ones out here.
there's
Yeah.
some
I
decent
honestly
ones.
think you need to find somebody, though, like, so for you, finding somebody, a woman who maybe is not from Columbus. Like, it meshes really well if you don't know the same circles and nobody can tell you.
You like firmly believe this.
I do.
Yeah.
Because everywhere I run into around Columbus, there's somebody from my club days that has a story. This literally happened. We were out to eat for our anniversary, and there's a guy from my club days walk by, hey, Nikki. And, like, everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you're
think
right.
about what happened last night. You ran into somebody from
Yeah, I
Grandview.
know. Yeah.
So it's just best to get a fresh start. No mutual friends. Nothing. And that's how you start fresh. And we met on Tinder.
Tinder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
I've
like
never did
that
Tinder.
in itself, I would have said would be like, don't do that.
You ever do Tinder?
No, never.
I didn't either.
It's
Never
different
Tinder.
now.
It's not
This
like.
was 9 years ago when we met.
What am I thinking? I'm thinking of what's the other Grindr?
Isn't it just that's
Is that what I'm thinking of?
yeah.
Where you just,
Yeah.
It's like a
Grinders
sex or
is
like you just
gay
meet up. Oh,
exclusively.
it's a gay thing.
yes. Yeah.
No experience with that at all.
Yeah.
I just heard for the grapevine.
Christian
Yeah.
Mingle.
Yeah, Christian
Yeah, Mingle. right.
That's what you meant, yes.
Just for
Farmers
shits and
only.
gig, I put my like dating thing on Facebook.
Grinder,
See
yeah.
if like still got it.
Yeah, there's like
Um,
Plenty of Fish, Bumble.
Yeah,
Plenty of,
yeah,
that's the
plenty
one I
of
was thinking of,
fish.
not
yeah.
Grinder. Yeah, Plenty of Fish. That's when I was like, oh,
Oh, there's Black People Meet
black people meet.
on, what is it, onlyfarmers.com?
Farmers Zone.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking
Farmers Only.
everybody.
There used to be a commercial for that.
Like,
Yep.
wow, okay. So like you're married now for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
What's your husband? So like I just as a husband myself, you're an attractive lady.
Thank you.
Is he insecure about that at all? Like,
Yeah.
because like I would be intimidated. Like everybody's gonna be after you.
Well, they're not, but I know, like, I get intimidated because he's at work all day long surrounded by, like, women at their best, right?
Yeah.
Like, professionals, they're dressed well, they have their makeup, they're happy, and then he comes home to me with, like, a bun on top of my head and, like, spit up and food everywhere, and he gets the worst of me. So we both have our insecurities. You know, I'm like, you're gone 12 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Man.
You have time to cheat if you want.
Yeah.
But, and then he's like, well, but guys look at you. And I'm like, I mean, they can look, but they're not going to have ever. Like, I would never give up what we have. And one, hurt our girls.
Yeah,
You know,
the kids.
I want them to have the best life possible. I want them to have 2 parents. But yeah, I mean, it's caused some issues, just insecurities. But honestly, both of us being sober has helped a lot
Yeah.
because we're not getting in like those drunken fights. Well, he was looking
yeah.
at you, and
I'm telling you, dude. I'm fucking telling you. I talked to them about this beforehand. The show last night, they didn't serve booze, and it was just such a different
vibe
experience.
Yeah.
they didn't serve any.
No alcohol.
Wow,
They had
I like that.
they had a mocktail stand,
Oh, I like that.
and then like 3 food trucks. But like everyone, there's no one's super loud. There's no arguments. There's no nothing. It was just like the coolest thing ever to be around that many people and nobody. I mean, I'm sure people drank beforehand, but it wasn't like, you know, how it is.
Yeah.
Out of control, getting louder and louder
Yeah.
and louder as people keep drinking. It makes such a huge difference.
That's awesome.
There's nothing like more than like being sober around drunk people that makes
Oh.
you realize like, oh shit,
I
I'm
know.
I'm an asshole. Like these people are not entertaining at all.
Alcohol is
Yeah.
fucking bad.
Yeah.
It is crazy. I'll still go to bars and I will just watch people like slowly just get sloppier and sloppier.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm like, are you good? Like, do you need a ride home? And that's a great part about being sober is I can always be there if anybody ever needs me.
Right.
'Cause I can go to the bars. I don't have any, it's not tempting for me at all. I don't want to get drunk. I don't want to drink. I don't want to waste my money. Like, we have saved so much money. That's why we built our house.
Yeah.
You saw my house.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nice house.
Yeah, what the fuck?
But it's
I'm trying to fucking
it's
go
a different
I'm trying to
game
go
when you
swimming
have
over
your own
there.
home, man.
Right. I mean, the amount of money that we have saved just by not drinking,
Yeah.
as well as, I mean, our
It's
relationship.
the biggest raise you can give yourself, really, if you're drinking excessively, especially at bars and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Shit's expensive.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And not being
Drinks-
not being single, I wasn't getting the free drinks anymore.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we're like
right. You had to
spending a
pay
lot
for
of
the
money.
drinks.
Yeah.
kind of kills that.
That's just not fun anymore.
So you haven't touched a drop of alcohol.
No.
It's such a different perspective because, you know, obviously we had to fucking bash our heads
Yeah.
into the brick wall for years and years and years, and like what you did,
Just like I'm not gonna drink anymore.
yeah, this is gonna be better.
Yeah.
Do you think like sobriety is becoming like trendy?
I think
No.
so. I do. It's cool to be sober now.
I kind of feel
It's all over TikTok.
Yeah.
I feel the same way, that it's like we're turning this corner where like getting fucked up isn't cool anymore. I know for me, it certainly felt like that was the cool thing to do growing up.
Mhm.
I mean, it's because we were younger, but
Yeah.
like felt like everyone was like, "Oh, let's get fucked up. Like this is just what you do."
Yeah.
And it feels like now it's cool to not drink and not fucking do drugs, and which is great.
It is cool. I'm
There's
too
like
much of a hobbit.
there's
to-
2 ways. I see people are bragging about doing coke a lot.
Yeah.
Like, you're 20. How do you? I would not know where to get coke. Like if I
You never did? You didn't do?
no.
Oh, you never experimented anything else other than
I smoked
drinking?
weed in college a couple of times, but
You partied in high school, right?
not really. 'Cause
For
my
some
dad-
reason, that's just what I thought. I
Mm.
don't.
Not really. Like the first time I drank, I was 18.
Man, so you waited long term.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I want to go back to the high school thing real quick. What's so you're 2 years older,
Yes.
and then you and Lou went to school together.
Mhm.
What was like? Did you know Lou in high school? Do you remember Lou from high school?
Like I remember his name, and then obviously your sister, like
Yeah.
through friends and stuff.
So I never like had an impression like Lou just
I
like
don't think we
yeah,
were-
somebody. Did you ever interact in high school whatsoever?
I don't remember that
Okay.
long ago. I'm too
I don't
old.
think we did. I don't remember any.
We might have been in like gym class together
yeah,
or something.
but I don't remember any impressionable moments, or like we didn't run into each other at parties or anything like that.
It's not like they're stoner Lou,
No,
they're stoner friends.
I was a stoner, but
I believe
it's
that.
so cool to be a stoner, bro.
I definitely like pretended that I was high on 420 because everybody else was and I wasn't. But to fit in,
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey
Yeah,
guys,"
I'm baked, man. Happy 420,
Jesus
guys.
Christ.
because that was the thing back then. Like if you weren't
Yeah.
if you weren't getting high, drunk, or having sex, you were not cool.
You were not cool.
No, like
And that's in like a nice school, right? Like Grandview,
Yeah.
like and this is what's like everybody's doing.
small town
Yeah,
things.
I mean, yeah, it was. Yeah, everyone was getting fucked up. That's what it felt like. Is there anything you want to relay to anybody? Any messages to your people? Your
The haters.
well, yeah,
Haters.
or the haters.
I don't know. I guess just I am living proof that if you hold on, it gets better. And even though I still have really rough days, especially being like a stay-at-home mom with two young kids.
Have you been diagnosed as depression?
Yeah.
Is it depressive?
So I have major depression, anxiety, and borderline personality disorder diagnosed.
Oh, shit.
It's probably more in there.
Probably, yeah.
What's your other personality? Who's the other side of Nikki?
It's not multiple personalities. Borderline personality is a whole nother. We could do a whole nother show about that. It's just really your emotions. Everything's black and white.
Yeah, there's
It's either good or bad. There's no middle ground. I mean, I could like be having the best day, and then something smells like dropping my pencil on the ground. Like, I'm gonna
Flip
go
it.
fucking kill myself.
What's
This
the
is the
difference
worst.
between that and like manic? Because isn't mania still kind of the
So
same?
manic depression, aka bipolar, is different. Bipolar is more of your monthly to even yearly like wax and wanes. It could be just nothing. It's not like an emotional set you off. It's just chemically in your brain. Versus borderline or BPD, it's on off, love hate. It's rapid firing basically.
And do you feel that in the moment? Like, oh, I'm just having like a BPD moment. Like,
Oh yeah, like
You
even if my
know.
husband doesn't text me back, like within certain, I'm like go to the worst place. Like he's banging a chick on his
Fucking hate you.
desk. Yeah, and like I've really had to work on myself with that to not push him away or like be that person anymore. Like, what are you doing? Why aren't you responding? Blah blah blah. Like I don't do that anymore.
You do therapy or anything,
Not right now.
or any sort of like self-help outside of
Not really. I think honestly having my degree in psychology has
Helps you
helped a lot. Like
understand.
Yeah.
a lot of like here's where I am in this moment. Here's my like coping mechanisms, healthy coping
Yeah,
mechanisms.
yeah.
That's not self-injury, that's not drinking, that's not taking it out on other people. And I think a lot of that's like why I got into photography a lot too, and started my business is because I'm getting out of the house, getting fresh air, helping other people like make memories. Like I have
Yeah.
to be here to help other people make their memories.
So what are you doing? You take him? That's what you do full time, photography.
I mean, yeah, I'm
hubby's
technically
the
like
breadwinner.
Hubby's the
so you're
breadwinner.
like mom, stay-at-home mom.
Yep.
And then your side,
Yep.
not side. I don't want to call it side. That minimizes it. Your whatever you want to call it
Yep.
as like photographer when you can.
Yep, started my
Okay.
business in 2018 technically is when I started, but 2020 is when it's like an official business.
Okay.
So 4 years.
And how's that? What are you doing? Weddings and
I do a
anything you
lot of
can?
like, family, engagement, couples, pets, milestones, whatever people want me for.
How do people hear about you? Just word of mouth.
Pretty much word of mouth. I started doing pictures like for friends and family as favors because photographers in Columbus are so expensive,
Yeah.
like outrageous. And so I'm like, I have a good camera. Like, I'll do it for you. And then people are like, oh, those pictures are good. Who did those? That was Nikki. Oh, can she do mine? And that's kind of how it circulated. And I just built it up and now here I am. I'm fully
hard,
booked.
Hard to believe given the 3 attempts
Yeah.
on your life, and I mean, I had no idea growing up that you were going through stuff like that. To where you're at today is pretty remarkable. I think that's fair to say.
Oh yeah.
Thanks.
And what are your insecurities today as compared to 15 years ago? Like, what are you insecure about today?
Yeah, you got 2 guys right here. We'll tell you if you're on point or not.
No, I don't want that. The insecurities are all still there
Yeah.
and that's why I'm so like adamant. I will make my girls stand in front of the mirror and do like I don't even know what they're called, but like
Affirmation.
yes, affirmations. Like I am beautiful, I am strong, I am smart. Because what you are told as like even prepubescent, but specifically teenager, will stick with you for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah.
And it has. Like I still to this day, every day, I'm like, if only I had a nose job. It's not going to take back the words that people said, though.
Yeah.
Would I think anything was wrong with my nose if nobody would have said it? No, it's my mom's nose, my dead mom's nose.
Yeah.
Which now I'll say to people if they want to really like get in my face about it, be like, you're making fun of my dead mom. So,
You're going to hell.
but yeah, I mean, it's all the insecurities are still there. because people weren't nice.
Yeah, and I kind of love that. Like,
Jeez.
because yeah, like I don't think insecurities ever go away, but like instead of like sitting in that, now you're just like trying to save your child from the same
Yeah.
insecurities, and that's absolutely wonderful. Because I'm full of them all the time,
Yeah.
and I'm having a daughter here in like 3 weeks,
Yay.
so
that's,
to
like,
just be
right
able
around the corner.
to, yeah, it's coming. So I will take that from today. Like that's
But I mean, I have
solid.
videos of my 1 month old, and I was telling like, "Who's that pretty girl?" But not only are you pretty, you're smart. You're so smart, and like that's what they need to know, is like that there's so much more than their looks,
Yeah,
especially as girls, women, because that's kind of what it all comes down to.
And in doing that, you're helping yourself
Yeah,
at the same time.
and that's kind of terrifying with kids too, because like they pick up everything.
Yeah.
And you
dude,
don't
but-
like think it in the moment when I'm being a jerk or something like that, but that's something they'll take with them, and then later in life that pops up, and to avoid that altogether.
That's
would
why
be
I
the
will
goal.
not like talk about my weight or anything in front of the girls, because if they're like, "Well, mommy thinks she's blah blah blah, so I must really be blah blah blah,"
Yeah.
or anything like that. So
That shit legitimately freaks me out, dude. Like,
Yeah.
if I was to have a child, like the genetics that would be passed down.
Passed down,
I mean, it's
yeah.
like this is gonna turn out like really good or really fucking bad. Like, I mean, it's like that's how I see it for me, at least with the genetics between my mom and my dad. It's like, and my grandparents too. Like, I pop a kid out, and I mean, you know, you might have, you know, a really smart, successful person or
Or a complete fuck up.
total fuck up.
Yeah.
but you still love them anyways.
Well, right, but like it's just terrifying
It
to
is.
like you don't I mean, do the best you can.
My 7-year-old, I can tell she's struggling with anxiety already,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm so I'm like mad at myself. Like I gave her these genes,
Mm.
but how? Like why is she experiencing this already? Because she's had so much more than I did growing up. Like I grew up in a moldy apartment with only a dad and a dead mom, and down the hill, here she is in like this brand new house in an amazing school district, 2 parents, a sibling. Like I'm an only child, so she has a sibling to play with and anything she could ever want, and yet she still struggles at 7 years old. But I had the coping tools to help her.
To help her,
No,
yeah.
nobody ever helped me. So
I-
here's my chance.
I really think I had like a mental shift in the past like year when my dad passed away, where I realized like a couple of different things. First thing being that like when you think people fucking give a shit about you, right, or they're like judging you or whatever, like I realized when my dad passed away how quickly people forget.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like you think like, oh, Lewis is this, Lewis is that. They're thinking negative things about you. They're not thinking anything about you at all. Like,
No.
you know, my dad passed away. You get your fucking regular like, oh, anything you need. Da da da. A month later, it's like it never fucking happened. And like once I went through that, I realized like, wow, like I truly don't fucking care what people think. Like, don't get me wrong, I have my moments. I mean, we talk about times where I don't want to post a certain video
Yeah.
or like whatever the case may be. But like my approach is so different now after I went through that, because like people, they only think about themselves.
Yeah, and that's what like
I
my
mean,
thing
that's
is
it.
like at the end of the day, like people are just self-centered by nature.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everybody is
We're
just
all
walking
guilty.
around thinking everybody's thinking about them.
Mhm.
And like once you learn that, it's it's very helpful.
I try to be completely opposite of that. Like when people's parents, grandparents, siblings die, I will like remember the date and I will touch, you know, just like check in
Right,
every
right.
once in a while and or pop up on a memory of them and be like, oh, this is such a sweet moment. And I always try and use like present tense. So like, he's so proud of you.
Yeah.
Not he
Yeah.
was, or he's a great guy. Like things like that, just so people know that I'm thinking about them. I'm somebody who does midnight birthday wishes. As soon as it turns
So it's
midnight, I want, because if the people are awake, they're
Yeah, I
like,
do the
oh, it's
same
my
thing.
birthday.
Wake up to it.
I want them to wake up to it. And I don't get any of that back. You know, it's Mother's Day. Nobody's saying, oh, are you doing okay,
Yeah,
Nikki?
yeah.
Because it's old news by this point, but it still hurts me. So I'm like, I don't want anybody to ever feel the way that I'm treated. So I make sure everybody knows that I care, even if it's just one person that cares. I want to be that person.
It's
So.
important.
That's good.
It's important. Do you have anything else for our wonderful?
I have a fun
Guess.
little weird fact. So I was looking at the thing on your neck, the choker, whatever you call
Yeah.
it. In high school, for some reason, I had a weird phase where I would wear those.
Okay. I would love to get a photo
I don't know
of
why. Like, I think I just saw, like, I was obsessed with wrestling. I think I saw one of the guys wear it, so I was like, oh, it's probably cool. So I, like, wear
that.
one.
How long did you do that for?
I probably had a 2-month run.
Damn.
Yeah, it did quite the impact.
I feel like puka shell necklaces were the thing.
Oh,
Puka shell.
yeah.
I can never, like, I'd wear that, but a puka shell, I couldn't be that guy.
I had like a bracelet, like a similar like, god damn,
The
dude,
Livestrong
so fucking
bracelet.
embarrassing. No, the fucking puka, like the
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
I didn't have the necklace, but
I
the
definitely did
Abercrombie shirt and
the shell necklace. Were you a collar popper?
Nah, he was like,
I didn't like. No, it wasn't like you're not gonna see me like walking around with it popped.
I bet I could find a picture of you.
I did a...
Yeah. Okay. Maybe.
yeah, research that one.
I'm a
Please
sleuther.
do, yeah.
Everybody tells me I should work for the FBI.
Yeah,
I can
research
find
that.
everything.
Oh god,
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
that would be great. Well, that was dark for a moment.
Yeah, that was good.
But thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, that was very different, I think, from what we normally do, and
Yeah.
really heavy.
Yeah,
Because I know normally you'd be throwing some zingers out there, but
there's some, yeah.
it's
You can zing away.
no.
I take some zings.
Once we got to the third attempt, that's when it was like, I don't know if we can joke about this.
Yeah. No, I had a few, but, like, I still want to know about the mom thing.
What about?
Like, so you ever find out how it was done?
Yeah, so she overdosed on her antidepressants.
Oh, man.
And I think that's a big reason I'm like scared to keep those in the house for myself because I'm like,
Zoloft type.
if I have a BPD moment, flip flop, there's options. There we go.
And what was your mom like? You said she's an addict. What'd she do? Heroin?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Heroin for sure. Coke. I think probably sleeping with guys for drugs. Which, if I show you pictures of her, you would never like. Everybody always says she reminds me so much of Princess Diana.
Really?
Like
Okay.
such a soft, calm,
Yeah.
petite
Put together.
person. Like she actually worked for the FOP,
What's the FOP?
Fraternal Order of Police,
Oh.
downtown.
Okay.
I mean, granted, she was a receptionist, but still, like, funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Like,
yeah.
let's get in
Right.
good
Let's
with
get
them,
good
and
with
then
them.
we have a secret
And those
life.
are the stickers you put on the fucking back of your car
Yeah.
that you think if you get pulled over, you won't get a ticket.
Yeah, they're
Yes.
gonna look.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, I got my FOP sticker.
But
I
yeah, so
donate.
that's something like I didn't find out for a long time until I was like of age and old enough, and I asked my aunt, and
Do you ever ask your dad like, "What the hell, man"?
no,
Does he still not talk about
he's
her?
not an emotional person at all. So, like, he,
Yeah, how's your relationship with him today?
it's
Same,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
I just had to order him a pizza the other day because he was out of money.
Oh.
So
Okay.
But
Still-
at least you get to do that.
Yeah. It's like.
yeah, but it's just exhausting
Yeah.
after 20 years of doing it. But
Yeah.
and that's the thing is everybody's always like, well, at least your dad stepped up and took care of you after your mom died. I'm like,
He didn't.
but
really.
he was
Yeah.
supposed. He's a parent.
That's-
He's
yeah,
one
like,
parent.
It's his job.
I'm not gonna applaud. Like that'd be like somebody give me
Yeah.
a medal for breathing air.
Right.
It was
So
like
he was
they're-
supposed to like leave, and
Yeah, supposed to be a deadbeat.
I don't know. So
Like, man.
Well, you're killing it.
Yeah.
What's your photography company?
it's Nikki Lee Photography.
Nikki Lee
Nikki Lee
Photography.
I thought that
That's
was cute,
rhymes.
right?
That is
Like-
cute. I was just as I said, I
It
was like,
is.
oh, that's fun.
Nikki Lee
Nikki Lee Photography.
Usually
Yeah.
there might be a 614 on the end because there is a Nikki Lee Photography in Canada. That's not me.
Bastards.
You know,
Fuckers.
What are you talking about?
Motherfuckers. Yeah.
poutine, right?
Yeah,
Canada.
Canadians.
Well, that's that.
That's that. Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you coming out.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Hug?
great.
No,
No,
hug it
no.
out. No. Okay, we'll get there one day.
We thug it out around
Yeah.
here.
Thug it out.
I've been trying to get a hug off this guy like at the end.
For 12
For-
episodes.
Yeah, 12 now.
One day it'll happen.
Maybe lucky number 13.
That is the lucky number.
One day.